Do you feel like your personal insecurities are holding you back, limiting you from dating and being around people who you think would be advantageous to helping you find your life partner? If you're in the scene of dating and going out and you feel like you have so many insecurities, you're not alone. And as a matter of fact, there's a lot of people who have insecurities. I think it's healthy to say we all have them. It's just that not all of us perseverate about them. And usually the ones who keep perseverating about how they worry about how they'll come across, or they worry about their clothes, or they worry that their potential date might stand them up or reject them. Whatever it is, the more you worry about it, that's more indicative that you actually have some personal insecurities that you can get over. And really, this video should suffice in helping you get what you need to start working on it. You don't necessarily need to go see a therapist for personal insecurities. Why? Because they're general and we all have them, and sometimes it's worse than other times, depending on how we look or the kind of day we're having. And usually they resolve themselves when you're around someone healthy who wants to be part of your life. And that will happen if you can begin the work I'm going to give you today, the assignment, and actually work through it, okay? So I have 7 things that I think will help you deal with them, with insecurities, personal insecurities. And if you start now, you're going to be way ahead. Thing is, you have to test yourself. Like, you have to try what you're insecure about. And that's the hard part, but you can do it. And let me know in comment sections on this video how you did. Okay, the first one, stop assuming your insecurities are your fault. They're not. They're just things you're born with, different temperaments, different ways of thinking about things. My guess is you watched one of your parents have a lot of insecurities, and part of it was just your environment. So it's not something bad that happened to you. It's pretty human and pretty natural. But the fact that you're perseverating on them is a little bit more of curiosity on my part. And that's what I want to help you with. So number 2, I want you to start approaching these insecurities with curiosity, which is what every therapist is going to do with you. They're going to start having you look at these perseverations about your insecurities, and they're going to go, oh my goodness, that's interesting. Well, let's talk about that. Where do you think that came from? Why do you think you do that? Why do you think you did that today and maybe not 2 years ago? Things like this, when you're curious about it, you automatically lift that judgmental load, and it's going to be a lot better for you. The insecurity is kind of going to minimize a little bit. Try it, and you'll see what I mean. Number 3, tell your partner or your best friend. If you haven't really been dating or you're too insecure to date, then talk to your best friend about it and tell them how you feel. And I'm sure they're going to validate you, tell you what they see, so you're already going to start building what I call anti-tapes against what you're worried about. So if your best friend says, why do you worry about being beautiful? You are beautiful. Then next time you start worrying about that, you're going to remember what that friend said to you, and that you're going to store that in your mind. You're going to start repeating that instead of going into whatever the insecurity is telling you to repeat that you probably are. The next one, focus on your positive attributes. Everybody has things about them that they really like. And if you are having trouble with that, ask your mom, your dad, your cousins, your aunt, your uncle, your friends. Ask them what they see about you that makes you stand out and special. Most people have a pretty clear idea about what they're really good at. And when you focus on that, you take away some of that focus on the negative of what you're worried about. And once again, we're minimizing, we're working on that insecurity to start lessening its grip on you. Because, you know, to be honest, anytime I have to give a talk or go out in public, there is a little bit of insecurity with me. But because I have all these reserves of good things that I've been practicing, I right away shift my focus. I've gotten very good at it, and you can get good at it too. You don't need to live the way you're doing, letting your insecurities limit you. Next, strengthen those wins. whenever you do something that you're really proud of, I want you to just celebrate it. I want you to celebrate it with your friends. I want you to celebrate it with your new date, if that's one of the things. Whatever it is, be vulnerable about it, talk openly about it, so that your friends understand where you're coming from and can really help you celebrate it. It's the celebration that strengthens that bond, and you will do that behavior again if you've celebrated it and really been grateful that you had the confidence to do it. Number 6, don't compare yourself with others. And this is something you can learn to do. Like when you want to go and start comparing your looks to someone else, you can make yourself self-disciplined, stop and say, I'm not going to do that. That's not good for me. It's not fair for the person I'm comparing with. It's not fair to me, and I'm going to stop it. You might have to say that to yourself several times during the day, but that's okay. And as a last resort, talk to a professional, because sometimes insecurities can hide out as a mask for depression or diagnosable anxiety. And if you have either one of those things, talking to a therapist is really going to help de-escalate the insecurity, making you feel more confident, more sure of yourself. And at the end, all we're doing is trying to make you see the good side of yourself, so that can give you confidence to boost you up and take on whatever that fear is you're fearing and do it anyway.